The branch snapped before I could react. Yoruki crashes to the ground, landing hard on his back. I should have stayed home that day. Bruised and sore, Yoruki slowly walks back home. The moment he enters the house, his mother starts scolding him. "What were you thinking? Climbing trees again?" Without another word, she sends him to his room. Yoruki quietly shuts the door behind him without a care in the world.
Yoruki throws himself onto his bed, still feeling the sting of his mother's words. He had cleaned himself up, but his mind was anything but calm. Why do I always end up like this? Thoughts start spinning faster, heavier, until they won't stop. He stares at the window, watching nothing in particular. The world outside feels distant, almost unreal. Inside him, there's only emptiness. And slowly, his eyes begin to close. Yoruki falls asleep. The alarm clock screams through the silence. Yoruki slowly opens his eyes, still half asleep. He sits up in bed, staring blankly at the wall. Another day, same feeling. With a tired body and heavy eyes, he slowly gets up and walks toward the bathroom. His steps are slow, almost dragged by exhaustion. "I feel like a zombie," he mutters under his breath, barely even caring about the words. The mirror waits ahead, reflecting someone who doesn't feel fully awake yet. The bathroom light flickers on. Yoruki stands in front of the mirror, still half awake. He picks up his toothbrush and starts brushing slowly, almost automatically. Foam builds in his mouth as he stares at his reflection. What destruction awaits us today? He thinks silently, eyes half-lidded, watching himself like he's looking at a stranger. The reflection doesn't answer, it just stares back. He leans closer to the mirror for a moment, then sighs. Same face, same day, same problems. He continues brushing slower, now lost in thought. "I better hurry up before mom starts again." A small pause. "If I'm lucky, I can grab something to snack on the way to school." He rinses his mouth and exhales through his nose. For a second everything feels quiet. But inside Yoruki's mind it's never really quiet. Yoruki quickly gets ready for school, still half awake, but rushing now. "Damn, I have to hurry or I'll be late." He glances around his room one last time. No time for breakfast. He pauses for a second. "Do I have everything?" He checks his bag. "Yeah, got it." He exhales and grabs his things. Time to go. Yoruki leaves his room and walks downstairs slowly. The house feels unusually quiet. No shouting, no footsteps. Looks like mom already left for work. A small pause. "Well, I'll be going then." He grabs his shoes, slipping them on at the door. "Soom's got lunch covered, I hope." He opens the door and steps outside. Fresh air hits him instantly. The weather is nice, almost too peaceful. Time to head to the convenience store. Gotta rush. I don't want to be late. I hope I don't run into those thugs today. Just thinking of the beating I got last time gives me chills.
Yoruki arrives at the school gate and walks toward the locker room, change his shoes. As he opens his locker, he noticed his friend Haruto Sakamaki standing nearby with a grin on his face. "Yo, what's up with you and the blonde girl in class?" he said. Yoruki looked confused. "The girl who keeps staring at you?" Haruto replied, serious. "Is there something between the two of you?" Yoruki sighs and changes shoes. "Maybe she just hates me," Haruto laughed. "Nah, that does not look like hate." As soon as Yoruki and Haruto arrive in the classroom, the blonde girl starts looking at Yoruki. "See what I mean?" Haruto replied. Yoruki sighs and walks towards his desk. The teacher arrives, and the noise inside the room slowly fades away. "All right, everyone, take your seats." Yoruki quietly writes in his notebook while the teacher talks in the background. "What am I even having for lunch today? Sumai didn't come to class today." His stomach growls softly. "Great, now I'm definitely on my own." The lunch bell echoes through the school. Instantly, the classroom comes alive. Students stand up, talking loudly as they rush toward the cafeteria. Yoruki slowly closes his notebook and leans back in his chair. Guess it's time to see what's left to eat. After waiting through the crowded lunch line, Yoruki finally gets his food. The cafeteria buzzes with noise, students laughing, trays clattering, conversations everywhere. Yoruki scans the room before spotting an open seat. He walks over and sits down across from Haruto. "Took you long enough." Haruto laughs while opening his drink. "The line was a war zone." Yoruki replies before taking a bite of his lunch. The two casually talk while eating. "So, any plans for the weekend?" "Not really. I'll probably just sleep the entire day." Haruto smirks. Sounds exactly like something you do. For a moment, everything feels normal. Then suddenly, Haruto freezes. His expression immediately changes. The moment Yoruki turns his head, his eyes immediately lock onto a group of high school bullies staring directly at them from across the cafeteria. Their expressions alone are enough to make the atmosphere feel heavier. Yoruki quickly turns away again, pretending he never saw them. A quiet tension settles over the table. "Those idiots again," Haruto mutters under his breath. The group continues glaring for a few seconds before one of the bullies suddenly speaks up. "Hey, we can't stay here." Another one clicks his tongue in annoyance. "We gotta go." The tallest bully lifts up a plastic bag filled with food containers. "You know what'll happen if we show up late with the boss's food again." The group of thugs slowly disappears into the crowd of the cafeteria. Yoruki reply, "We are doomed." The scene cuts back to the classroom. Yoruki sits at his desk, lazily staring out the window. A shadow falls over his desk. Yoruki slowly looks up. Standing in front of him is the blonde-haired girl from earlier, where we learn her name is Akari Fujimoto. Akari immediately leans closer to him, her eyes narrowed, clearly annoyed. She shouts, "Are you ignoring me, Yoruki? Why do you keep acting like I don't exist?" Nearby students quietly start paying attention to the conversation. Haruto watches from the side, already knowing trouble is about to start. "You sound way too energetic for this time of day." Akari's eyebrow twitches in irritation. She replies, "You have been assigned to tutor me after class. Don't be late." Yoruki sighs deeply. That went well. What a pain. After school, Yoruki tutors Akari Fujimoto in math. Books are spread across the desk as he calmly explains the problem. "Focus on this step first," said Yoruki. Akari suddenly stops. "Do you have a crush on someone?" Akari asks. Yoruki pauses. "That has nothing to do with math." Akari leans closer. "Just answer." Yoruki answers, "No, I don't. Can we focus?" After the tutoring session, Yoruki steps out of the classroom tired. He immediately runs into Haruto in the hallway. "So, how did it go?" Yoruki sighs. "You don't want to know." Haruto laughs. "Best of luck, dude." He waves and starts walking off. "I gotta get going." Yoruki just stands there, exhausted, watching him leave. After school, Yoruki is in the locker room changing his shoes. He bends down, tying his shoe, when a familiar voice breaks the silence. "Hey, you're kind of a weirdo, you know that?" Akari said. Yoruki sighs, not even surprised anymore. She turns slightly to leave, waving her hand behind her, but she's already walking away down the hallway. Yoruki walks alone down the street, stretching his shoulders slightly. "My energy is completely depleted." He sighs deeply. "No time for video games today. Just get something from the convenience store and go home." As he turns a corner, he suddenly notices something ahead. A black, luxurious car is parked by the sidewalk. Yoruki slows down and watches from a distance. He noticed someone with blonde hair getting in the car and asks himself, could that be Akari, and turns around saying, "Must be great being rich," and continue walking while the black car fades away in the background. Yoruki walks quietly down the road. The evening breeze passes by as cars move through the streets. Without knowing, the same school bullies from earlier are following from a distance. "There he is," one of them mutters quietly. Completely unaware, Yoruki pushes open the door of the convenience store and walks inside. The sound of the bell echoes softly above him. Inside the convenience store, Yoruki stands in front of the snack aisle, completely unable to decide what chips to buy. Why are there so many flavors? After a long moment of debating with himself, he finally grabs one and heads to the counter. He pays quietly and walks toward the exit, only to suddenly freeze. The school bullies from earlier are standing right in front of him. The bullies slowly surround Yoruki outside the convenience store. "What do you want this time?" Yoruki asks nervously. One of the thugs grabs his collar. "Why didn't you pay the rent this morning? Did you forget the beating you got last time?" Before Yoruki can answer, the group starts attacking him. After a painful beating, they stopped, "Pay up next time," and left. After the bullies leave, Yoruki slowly sits up from the ground, bruised and exhausted. He wipes the blood from the corner of his mouth and clenches his fist tightly. "I'm tired of this." His voice shakes with anger. "Mark my words. One day, I'll get my revenge." Yoruki slowly stands up, brushing the dirt off his clothes. Without another word, he quietly begins walking home alone. Yoruki finally arrives home and quietly heads upstairs. He changes out of his dirty clothes before slowly making his way to the kitchen. The house is silent. Mom's not home yet. He glances at the clock for a moment. She's probably working late again. Yoruki sighs softly and leans against the kitchen counter, the exhaustion from the day finally catching up to him. I guess he'll grab a quick bite to eat and head to bed. I'm beat. Yoruki slowly drags himself back upstairs and enters his room. Without even turning on the lights, he throws himself onto his bed. The exhaustion from the day weighs heavily on him. What a day! He stares at the ceiling for a few quiet seconds before his eyes slowly close. And before long, Yoruki falls asleep.